It's Felicity from Get Your Rock Out with the lovely Klaus from Ugly Kid Joe. How are you doing today?
Good. Great, thank you.
Are you horribly exhausted? Was it a late one last night, or are you just about alright?
We were in Wrexham,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was kind of, we did the show till midnight or 1, then we drove here, so we got here about 3 in the morning,
Wow.
and then spent the night, and were rudely awakened by the hotel staff at noon, at the crack of noon. But
So early,
yeah,
how dare they?
I know, really. No, it's all right. So this is one of the easier nights, or days, or whatever.
Brilliant.
Overnights.
Yeah. And you've been doing the Stairway to Hell tour for the past few days. How's the response to that been so far?
Oh, great. Every show's been pretty full, and great crowds, and good participation. So, yeah, good. Very good.
And you've played with IMI as well. I mean, as a band, are you a big fan of theirs? Have you seen them coming up?
I've never heard of them. There's so many bands that we play with here in the UK in the last 6 months on and off. We'd never heard of. We're like, wow, these guys are good, or wow, who? And then like, oh yeah, everybody knows them. Like,
yeah, they've not been around very long, but I mean, response to them so far has just been exceptional. So
nice, good guys.
And of course, you toured with the amazing Alice Cooper and Duff McKagan before.
Yes.
I mean, what a tour to do! How did that feel for you guys?
That was great because obviously we've known Alice Cooper since we were kids, and it was just a weird situation when we got the call. Like, Alice Cooper, what? Us and Alice Cooper? It's a strange mix, but it was great. It went out. It was an awesome tour, and of course Duff McKagan's Loaded. Of course, I'm a giant Guns N' Roses fan. So that alone was like enough. But then when we met the band, we became really good friends with the whole band, and nicest dudes ever. And because we'd share dressing rooms, so we kind of bonded. But that was a fun tour, really fun.
And so were you a bit
best catering ever?
Really?
Yeah. So.
Go on then, give us a typical kind of night.
Oh my God! Well, like the type of food we'd get was stuff like, I remember this very well, sweet potato soup. It was with red pepper. Oh my God, the best soup I've ever had in my entire life. I literally was like, give me the recipe, please. He's like, nope, secret recipe.
I actually made some sweet potato soup to bring here this week.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's
good stuff.
Yeah, so it's maybe an English thing? No.
I don't know. I think it's one of these things that's become quite popular lately, so I don't know whether you can kind of have vegetables as being popular, but I think it's the in thing to cook with.
Yeah.
So I know that's. I mean, what did you kind of get starstruck around these bands that you've kind of grown up listening to, like the first kind of few times you met them?
Maybe for the first seconds, and then when they start talking and you realize they're just normal people, and luckily enough, every like rock star that I've met that I idolized or whatever ended up being super cool and nice and down to earth. I've never met like a hero that's been a dick. Like, they've all been super cool and nice, and it just, I was like, oh, cool. Because you don't want to burst that bubble of this person you idolize, and then you're like, oh my God. So I'm like 10 for 10 on that, literally.
To be honest, that's a pretty amazing record to have, really. So good times.
I seriously can't imagine. I can't remember any situation where it was, oh no. It's always been great.
Wow. And do you have one standout moment from the tour that you just think this was just the greatest experience ever?
From this last one?
Yeah.
Like the Alice Cooper tour, for instance, Duff would come on stage. One show in particular, we had Phil from Motorhead and Duff McKagan come on stage with us and play Ace of Spades.
Wow.
That was pretty cool. Like, I'm looking to my left, I look to my right, I'm like, Hall of Famers right there playing with me. That was cool.
Fantastic stuff. And of course, you had an EP out earlier this year. Mm-hmm. It's been quite a while since anything last happened.
16 years before that, I think.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, what kind of prompted the decision to do this?
It was our other guitar player, Dave Fortman, who went on to become a real successful producer, did Evanescence and Slipknot and Godsmack. He was doing a Godsmack record with Shannon, our drummer. And they started talking one night, and they were like, wow, we should just do a record, Ugly Kid Joe. And so they started calling me and Whit, and we're like, yeah, let's do that. Why not? Literally, like, Dave's a producer, he's got his recording studio, let's get in there and do a record. So we did. Within like a year, we had got songs together, and we all ended up in New Orleans or Louisiana, and we did it. And we didn't really, we didn't really think about like touring extensively or anything like that. We're just like, let's at least get together once again, do a record, do it through iTunes. You don't need much more than that. and see what happens. And then next thing you know, we're on tour.
I mean, to be honest, you've played some incredible shows as well since.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been such a relatively short space of time. I mean, Download Festival,
right.
This festival, obviously, the Alice Tour, all these tours. Did you think that it was going to kick off to such a huge degree so soon after all of that?
No, not at all. I mean, the first show we played was the Underground in London, and I think the next show was Sweden Rock, like a festival, 30,000, and then the next show was the Download Festival. So yeah, by the third show after 6, for me, I hadn't played live since 2000 in a band. It was just a little band I played in, and we did 2 shows. That's it. So the next show I did was, the third show after that was Download Festival.
That's incredible.
So it was very incredible. But it
nerve-wracking,
felt like home too.
maybe.
It was a little, maybe the first, the idea of it was nerve-wracking, but actually getting on stage and playing felt real comfortable and normal, and I've been here, done this.
And are you getting on together brilliantly as a band now? Are you gelling together?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Totally serious. Keeping a straight face. No, really, all good, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And, obviously you've done quite a lot in such a short space of time. Do you see yourself just constantly pushing this more and more and more? Has it become now a huge focal point for all of you?
Yeah, I mean, everything we do, it's kind of like what we do now kind of dictates what happens next. And it's kind of like football players say, take it game by game, and that's kind of how we're doing it. We'll do this tour, and then we'll see what happens. If we write some more songs, see if we can get some time in the studio, that kind of thing, and go on. It's not like we don't have exact set goals. Everything, success dictates the future, and vice versa.
And given the kind of responses you have been getting on tour so far, can you see it realistically ending up with another album at some point soonish?
Yeah, there's a great possibility of that. It's just a matter of getting the songs and getting the studio time. And the one problem is sometimes it's hard to get us all in the same studio. Tour's different because we're going on these dates, let's do it.
Yes.
And but with music, sometimes you have to have time to write, to suss it out, as you say, and then of course get the studio time worked out, and when Dave's free and so and so's free and this and that.
Is it becoming more of a priority for all of you, this band as a whole?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't even on the horizon 2.5 years ago. Probably the last thing I thought would happen, literally. And then 6 months later, there was talk of it. And the next year and a half later, we were actually recording. So, yeah, it's a big change, but it's cool.
Have you been happy with the way the fans have reacted to it?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, we played some shows that were like the good old days. Like what? It's been 16 years, and they're singing all the songs to all the lyrics to all the songs. So,
I mean, what's the biggest change for you, like from the old times into the new times, playing live now after such a long period of time?
You know what? I mean, I'm older. I swear it's weird. It feels like we'd only been gone for a few years. Wow. It felt so familiar.
Obviously where you're meant to be then, really.
Yeah, I mean, it really, I can't think of one big major change. Maybe my leg gets a little more sore, or my neck. Even that's been getting better. The metal neck's back, where I've kind of worked it out a little bit. I can't think of anything major.
Yeah, good stuff then.
Yeah.
And
feel
so
like a kid again.
I mean, what would you be doing if you weren't doing music?
I don't know. I really don't. There's not like a thing that I've always wanted to do that I am doing besides music. Just
best life, really, I mean.
Yeah, try to make ends meet one way or another, and if you get to do music, do it. Yeah. I mean, always do music in some way, shape, or form, but to be in a touring band, it's a great gift, really.
And do you enjoy the touring experience? Are you somebody that likes being on tour?
I do, but there's times where you're like, oh God, we pulled over by the police because they wanted to weigh the van and stuff, and everything was screwed up. We had to sit there for hours while they were moving a bunch of stuff from our van into the trailer, and then that wasn't enough, so we had to get rid of 2 people. Literally, they would hire a car because we were all tired. Yeah. Black paint, but that usually lasts for a day or 2, and then you get one good night of sleep, and then you're like good to go again.
Yeah. And the next kind of 6 to 12 months, you know, anything. But is there anything that you can?
There is nothing in cement. I can tell you that for sure we'll be.
Brilliant.
I don't know when, but.
Brilliant. And should we look forward to seeing you hopefully in the UK again at some point?
Absolutely, I would think so. Yeah.
Brilliant.
at the latest next summer.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. So soonish then.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good times. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out today. It has just truly been a pleasure. I really can't wait for the show tonight. Have a fantastic one.
Thank you.
And we will see you very soon.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.